Long in a strict embrace she held her son, and pressed his hand, and tender thus begun. O Hector, say what great occasion calls my son from fight, when Greece surrounds our walls? Comest thou to supplicate the almighty power with lifted hands from Ilion's lofty tower? Stay till I bring the cup with Bacchus crowned, and Jove's high name to sprinkle on the ground, and pay due vows to all the gods around. Then with a plenteous draught refresh thy soul, and draw new spirits from the generous bowl. Spent as thou art with long laborious fight, the brave defender of thy country's right. Far hence be Bacchus's gift, the chief rejoined, in flaming wine pernicious to mankind, unnerves the limbs and dulls the noble mind. Let chiefs abstain, and spare the sacred juice to sprinkle to the gods. It's better used by me that holy office were profaned. Ill fits it me, with human gore disdained, to the pure skies these horrid hands to raise, or offer heaven's great sire polluted praise. You with your matrons go, a spotless train, and burn rich odors in Minerva's fane. The largest mantle your full wardrobes hold, most prized for art and labored o'er with gold, before the goddess's honored knee be spread, and 12 young heifers to her altar led. So may the power atoned by fervent prayer our wives, our infants, and our city spare, and far avert Tydides' wasteful ire, who mows whole troops and makes all Troy retire. Be this, O mother, your religious care. I go to rouse soft Paris to the war. If yet not lost to all sense of shame, the recreant warrior hear the voice of fame. Oh, would kind earth the hateful wretch embrace, that pest of Troy, that ruin of our race. Deep to the dark abyss might he descend, Troy yet should flourish, and my sorrows end. This heard she gave command, and summoned came each noble matron and illustrious dame. The Phrygian queen to her rich wardrobe went, where treasured odors breathed the costly scent. There lay the vestures of no vulgar art, Sidonian maids embroidered every part, when from soft Sidon youthful Paris bore, with Helen touching on the Tyrian shore. Here, as the queen revolved with careful eyes the various textures and the various dyes, she chose a veil that shone superior far, and glowed refulgent as the morning star. Herself with this the long procession leads, the train majestically slow proceeds. Soon as to Ilion's topmost tower they come, and awful reach the high Palladian dome. Antenor's consort, fair Theano, waits as Pallas's priestess, and unbars the gates. With hands uplifted and imploring eyes, they fill the dome with supplicating cries. The priestess then the shining veil displays, placed on Minerva's knees, and thus she prays. O awful goddess, ever dreadful maid, Troy's strong defence, unconquered Pallas, aid. Break thou Tydides' spear, and let him fall prone on the dust before the Trojan wall. So 12 young heifers, guiltless of the yoke, shall fill thy temple with a grateful stroke. But thou, atoned by penitence and prayer, ourselves, our infants, and our city spare. So prayed the priestess in her holy fane, so vowed the matrons, but they vowed in vain. While these appear before the power with prayers, Hector to Paris' lofty dome repairs. Himself the mansion raised, from every part, assembling architects of matchless art. Near Priam's court and Hector's palace stands the pompous structure, and the town commands. A spear the hero bore of wondrous strength, of full 10 cubits was the lance's length. The steely point with golden ringlets joined, before him brandished, at each motion shined. Thus entering, in the glittering rooms he found his brother chief, whose useless arms lay round, his eyes delighting with their splendid show, brightening the shield and polishing the bow. Beside him Helen with her virgin stands, guides their rich labours and instructs their hands. Him thus inactive with an ardent look the prince beheld, and high resenting spoke. Thy hate to Troy, is this the time to show? O wretch, ill-fated, and thy country's foe! Paris and Greece against us both conspire, thy close resentment and their vengeful ire. For thee, great Ilion's guardian heroes fall, till heaps of dead alone defend her wall. For thee the soldier bleeds, the matron mourns, and wasteful war in all its fury burns. Ungrateful man, deserves not this thy care, our troops to hearten, and our toils to share? Rise, or behold the conquering flames ascend, and all the Phrygian glories at an end. Brother, 'tis just, replied the beauteous youth. Thy free remonstrance proves thy worth and truth. Yet charge my absence less, O generous chief, on hate to Troy, than conscious shame and grief. Here, hid from human eyes, thy brother sat, and mourned in secret his and Iliad's fate. 'Tis now enough. Now glory spreads her charms, and beauteous Helen calls her chief to arms. Conquest today my happier sword may bless. 'Tis man's to fight, but heaven's to give success. But while I am, contain thy ardent mind, or go, and Paris shall not lag behind. He said, nor answered Priam's warlike son, when Helen thus with lowly grace begun. O generous brother, if the guilty dame that caused these woes deserves a sister's name, would heaven, ere all these dreadful deeds were done, the day that showed me to the golden sun had seen my death. Why did not whirlwinds bear the fatal infant to the fowls of air? Why sunk I not beneath the whelming tide, and midst the roarings of the waters died? Heaven filled up all my ills, and I accursed bore all, and Paris of those ills the worst. Helen at least a braver spouse might claim, warmed with some virtue, some regard of fame. Now tired with toils, thy fainting limbs recline, with toils sustained for Paris' sake and mine. The gods have linked our miserable doom, our present woe and infamy to come. Wide shall it spread, and last through ages long, example sad and theme of future song. The chief replied, This time forbids to rest. The Trojan bands by hostile fury pressed demand their Hector, and his arm require. The combat urges and my soul's on fire. Urge thou thy knight to march where glory calls, and timely join me ere I leave the walls. Ere yet I mingle in the direful fray, my wife, my infant claim a moment's stay. This day, perhaps the last that sees me here, demands a parting word, a tender tear. This day, some god who hates our Trojan land may vanquish Hector by a Grecian hand.